Worst segue ever. Donald Trump.
And Donald Trump.
Worst segue ever. Donald Trump last night was in Iowa. And this is fresh off that whole entire argument with that Univision reporter from Mexico.
Yeah, that Jorge Ramos, I believe.
Ramos. And where Trump didn't throw him out. And he actually ended up coming back in, and everyone heard that on yesterday's program and everywhere. And I actually defended Trump, not what he was saying. I don't agree with any of that, but I defended him on the protocol of the situation, that it looked like he was being interrupted yesterday with this reporter, and the protocol seemed to be a bit different than how other reporters were treating him, just asking a question and having it answered. And I thought there was some point where this Jorge Ramos was like, hey, the more I interrupt, the more I get this, the more attention we're going to get on me and kind of my message too.
Yes.
So again, I'm not agreeing with Trump's message or wording. I'm agreeing with, you ask a question, you wait your turn. And when you ask the question, give me the time to respond to it. I'm direct like that. Like, I like that. I don't like the interruption process.
Yeah. And
what are you talking about?
The whole thing, the whole press conference thing seems a little bit like a circus in general.
It's a circus.
Days.
They're scrums. They're media scums, I call them.
And if you've been in them, you know how ravenous it can be.
Dude, people will literally kick you in the nuts to get better positions.
100%. Yeah.
And if I wasn't such a masochist, I would be very mad and stand up for myself when it comes to that kind of stuff.
You didn't enjoy it so much.
Yeah, like exactly. This is what Trump said last night, and this guy, he's going to be the president.
Oh, hello. How's the weather? It's so beautiful outside. Isn't it lovely? How are the Yankees doing? Oh, they're doing wonderful. Great. They say, we want deal. He'd jump out of the seat.
Talking about negotiating with Chinese or Japanese.
Oh, God.
Business people, politics, whatever it may be. We want deal, he says. So, I'm thinking to myself, what else has Donald Trump said about our friends from Asia? So you might be surprised to find out that he's also actually said things like, I love China. Okay, so maybe he didn't mean the stereotype there. Maybe that was a slip of Donald Trump's mind.
I get along with everybody.
Okay.
I get along with the Chinese. By the way, people think I don't like China. I love China. I sold an apartment for $55 million to a Chinese gentleman.
Anyway, this is Trump on his relationship with everyone in China.
Yes, because some guy bought a $55 million apartment. He knows all billion Chinese people.
Because that qualifies you to really like someone just because they help to your financial wealth.
Oh, what a douche.
So anyway, just a few days ago, that was a couple months ago on MSNBC. A few days ago on CNN, talked about, and this is when all the stock markets were crashing and everyone was fearing that the zombie apocalypse was upon us. He started talking about how, well, have a listen.
Donald Trump has some thoughts on who is to blame for what we are seeing today in the markets. This is what he posted to Instagram earlier today.
I've been telling everybody for a long time, China's taking our jobs, they're taking our money. Be careful, they'll bring us down. You have to know what you're doing. We have nobody that has a clue.
I mean, listen, Ryan Lizzie, he's quick to jump on this. He's a businessman. Yeah. He's quite successful. Is this going to work for him?
Look,
anyway. Jay Brody?
What happened to that beautiful Chinese man that bought his apartment for $55 million?
Oh, wait. You mean on another interview he did with Bloomberg Politics?
I like China. I sell apartment for I just sold an apartment for $15 million.
I thought it was $55 million before, but anyway.
The price went down.
That's a lot.
Yeah, the market.
$40 million.
He listed a little high, Todd. Yeah, he listed a little high.
It's a pretty big miscalculation, though, from the last one he said he sold it for that much.
To somebody from China. Am I supposed to dislike him?
You gotta start this over again.
Anyone who
like China.
China.
I sell apartment for I just sold an apartment for $15 million to somebody from China. Am I supposed to
sound like a 13-year-old kid doing his bar mitzvah there?
Yeah.
Where his voice cracks for the first time.
China.
China. Like, I think that's his tell right there. When his voice cracks, you know that he's up to something. Listen to this. This is him going off. This is not long ago. This is just a few months ago.
Dislike them? I own a big chunk of the Bank of America building in 1290 Avenue of the Americas that I got from China in a war. Very valuable. What? I love China. The biggest bank in the world is from China. You know where their United States headquarters is located? In this building, in Trump Tower. I love China.
Oh, he's so gross.
He loves China, does he? Well, what about what was happening with that stock market crash the other day?
Tell us a little bit more about what is going on. The candidates are blasting China for a variety of potential sins.
Yeah, that's true, Pam. Whatever they think best serves their agenda is pretty much what they're going after. Look, attacking China is kind of a tried and true way of handling politics when it comes to candidates. This time around, yesterday's market turmoil really gave them an opportunity to push their agendas and what they think is most important. Number one, of course, is Donald Trump, the Republican frontrunner right now, who's been talking about China with some regularity throughout his campaign. He started in the morning with an Instagram post talking about how things are going to get very messy. Then he took to Twitter to attack China about how the United States relationship and how close the two economies are was very problematic, saying a Trump presidency would, quote, uncouple the two economies. Then you had the Democratic front, or one of the Democratic.
Well, I thought he loved China.
I thought he was a big fan. I'm getting confused, Todd. A second ago, huge fan.
Well, wait a second. Hang on. Hang on a second here.
Involved on numerous issues.
Let me ask you about China, because as you may or may not know, this is a Trump tie.
Yes.
I bought it for this interview.
Oh, not only that, I mean, I buy a lot of stuff because...
But as you know, they're made in China.
Very beautiful tie, by the way.
It's a lovely tie.
Yes.
It's made in China.
Correct.
Is it hypocritical at all for
No,
you to
not at
talk
all.
about this?
Not at all.
While you're manufacturing your clothes?
No, I'm building the old post office, and I just made an order from China because they've cut their currency to such... I'm a private person. I may not be a private person for long.
What?
Private person in which way? That you put all of your life on a television show? Or that you're running for president of the United States? Which part of that is private person? What's private person
We'll see
stuff?
what happens.
Right.
I talk about my ties in
Right.
speeches. I'm open. I say my ties many times are made in China. Not all of them.
Mai Tai. Isn't he speaking Chinese? There?
Yeah, that's a lovely drink, I believe. Mai Tais are made in China. He gets Mai Tais in China. That's
By the way, but a lot of them are made in China because they've manipulated their currency to such a point that it's impossible for our companies to compete.
When it comes to outsourcing jobs,
Wow. Just all over the place. And a few years ago, and this is my favorite, because this is when he didn't know his ties were made in China. Have a listen to this hypocrite, to this ignorant, babbling presidential candidate who, again, don't get me wrong, on one level, I can appreciate Donald Trump for being as direct as he is, because I like direct people. I just wish his direct message reflected what we want to do for all of this world, which is bring everyone together and not lay so much blame and not have sort of these different certain tax bracket, wealthy human beings be able to dictate their kind of bullyish mentality. Make sense?
yes.
But listen to him. This is when he first discovered on Letterman that his ties were made in China.
As a line of clothing. Now, where were these made?
These were made, I don't know where they were made, but they were made someplace. But they're great. It's ties, shirts, cufflinks, everything sold at Macy's, and they're doing great. #1 selling tie anywhere in the world.
#1 selling
I don't know.
tie
Normally
anywhere
I
in the
wouldn't
world.
wear
What,
that shirt,
you
but
wouldn't wear that
we
shirt?
also have them in white and beautiful
Where
white.
are the shirts made? Bangladesh.
Well, it's good.
Okay.
We employ people in Bangladesh. It's-
Ties? Where are the ties
They have
made?
to work
These are
too.
beautiful ties.
They are great ties.
The ties are made in where? China? Ties are made in China.
He had just finished blasting China on the Letterman
I'll tell
show.
you, and you know what, David, in all fairness, I've been very open about that, and not all of them, by the way, but I've been very open about that. Are you okay? Is the
No,
chair
I'm
was
fine.
made in China.
I know.
The chair was made in
The chair
China.
was made in China.
But you know, the fact is, because of the manipulation of the...
There we go. And he goes on in the explanation. This guy, Jay Brody, seriously, is making some waves, though, man.
It's disturbing. He's an idiot. Listen, in the way of, as far as what you need a president to be, which is balanced, fair, intelligent, observant, he's got none of that. He's got a bad toupee and a bunch of ties made in China.
I'm glad you mentioned the bad toupee, because he addressed that last night, and we'll play this clip right into an ID. Come back, thanks and sponsors. Bring Ari Goldkind on the program. He addressed that very same toupee that you say he has, Jay Brody. So the one thing, whether you don't believe this hypocrite and have trouble trusting the fact that he may run America, well, if he gets voted in as the president of the U.S. of A., at least we know one thing. He has cleared this long debate up in this very clip from last night.
Ricardo Sanchez, known as El Mandril, on his Spanish drive time radio show in Los Angeles, has taken to calling Donald J. Trump El Hombre del Peliquin. In other words, the man of the toupee. This is on the front page of the New York Times. I don't wear a toupee. It's my hair. I swear. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. We're gonna settle this. You know, Barbara Walters did it. Barbara Walters named me the most whatever it is of the year. Just come on up here. They're gonna let you. You have to do an inspection here. This is getting crazy. This is crazy. Just real quick. We don't want to mess it up too much because I do use hairspray. That I said. Come. Is it mine? Look. It is. Say it, please.
Yes, I believe it is.
Thank you.
Hey!
And have I ever met you before? No.
One
But
thing we
you're
can
very
believe
nice.
if he
Thank you.
doesn't
Nice
wear
to
a
meet you.
toupee. We'll be back in a moment here on Canada Laughs Ch.168.
Hey, I'm Jay Brody. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave a comment. We read the best ones on the air.